Right now, a live look at what our latest winter storm dumped on Colorado overnight. Snow, we got that wet, heavy snow and a fair amount of it as well. You've all been sending in your snow pictures this morning. We love to see it. So beautiful out there, especially when you're not out working in it, right? When you're looking from afar. It's still not too late to send in those pictures. You can text us 303-871-1491. We have gotten so many so far this morning. And you know, Keely, I feel like if this was a normal work morning, it would have been a lot crazier. There were still obviously some road impacts, but we sure got dumped on.
I'll tell you what, it was gorgeous out there. I mean, you have to certainly shovel yourself out of your driveway and your home this morning, as I did this morning. I know it took me some time to get into work, but gorgeous out there. Lots of snow, impressive storm, more like a spring storm than a winter storm because that snow was so wet, so heavy, and really piled up. Let's take you outside and up I-70 to the Eisenhower Johnson tunnels, where a beautiful scene up there. Lots of snow up there, but boy, you head down to the lower elevations and those accumulations, very impressive. We're 27 out there right now. That's at DIA. Here's a few of those snowfall amounts. We're talking 14.5 inches in Evergreen, 14.2 in Aspen Park. Crested Butte tallied 12 inches, a good foot. 9.8 in Broomfield and Boulder, where I drove in from, 9 inches. It was a lot of shoveling of heavy, wet snow this morning. And your official total out at DIA, 7.1 inches. So again, lots of snow. That system that brought us the heavy, wet snow pushing off to the north and east. We are getting a break right now. We're looking at mostly sunny skies for most of the afternoon. In fact, for the next several days. Do you want to talk about an avalanche warning there across the backcountry, that area in pink? We also have a winter weather advisory still for the east central regions of the state. We're looking at a few more inches of snow as that system moves out. So here is your forecast for today. Clearing skies, 37, still going to be chilly, but hey, above freezing, and that will help the melting. We do have another system moving in. We'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast in just a bit.
I know. I feel like it's nice just to have the sun out right now, even if it's a little bit chillier. Yeah, I'm hoping some of that thick snow that's still on the side streets melts off a little bit. Yeah. Keely, thank you so much. Right now, road conditions look, of course, we were just talking about, a lot better than this morning already. I-70 between Watkins and Burlington was closed for hours. That has since reopened, which is great. Taking a live look at our CDOT camera, this is I-25 in the area of Highway 36. Roads have definitely cleared out here, looking mostly dry and clear of the snow, at least on the interstate, which again, great news for drivers. Denver's plows have been hard at work. A live look at the city's plow tracker at this hour. Still have trucks spread out across the city. Aurora had its plows on the road starting actually yesterday afternoon. There was another shift that started at midnight, and in all, Aurora sent 25 plows out to clear the snow. This morning, CDOT had 112 plows covering Region 1. That's the Denver area and the I-70 corridor from Golden all the way to the Eisenhower Johnson Tunnel. And of course, even more plows out statewide. On a day like today, not a bad idea to download our 9 News app if you haven't already. Among other things, it will help you keep track of the forecast and travel conditions wherever you are. It is free to download on the Apple and Google Play stores. This morning's weather may have added a new layer of fun to those trying to fly out of DIA. We, of course, use that term fun very loosely. The drive to DIA was likely slow, and that's on top of the uncertainty of whether travelers would even make it out in the first place. DIA is at the top of the board when it comes to flight cancellations today. As of right now, 292 flights in and out of Denver are canceled. Once again, Southwest is topping that list. 272 of their flights are not happening. That accounts for about half of the trips they fly in and out of Denver daily. DIA says it will conduct a review with Southwest. United and Frontier are hoping to answer questions related to last week's winter storm and the aftermath. DIA says the review will help the airlines learn what exactly went wrong and what they got right. Passengers are still struggling to get to their destinations and even recover their bags. It's been such a headache. DIA says it asked the Denver Police Department to increase security around the baggage claim areas. They're also passing out blankets, diapers, and other items for stranded passengers. Those passengers are also having a hard time finding affordable flights. United, American, and Delta, though, they're capping fare prices in certain cities, so that's helpful. But some flights are costing at at least $1,000 or more just going one way. This has become a familiar and frustrating piece of news for so many. And again today, Southwest has canceled about 2,300 flights nationwide. The airline says that if you're affected, you are eligible to receive a full refund for a canceled flight, as well as travel expenses. You can be reimbursed for any of those that you may have incurred. Whether you've been stuck at the airport, you know someone who is, or you're just worried about flying in the future, this whole situation can be very stressful. Our mental health expert, Dr. Cheryl Ziegler, has some ways you can work through some of that stress and anxiety.
I definitely empathize significantly with the level of stress that this has caused. However, what we know in the research around people who are resilient is they are optimistic. So it's interesting how you find the positivity even in the worst. And we know this from Holocaust survivors. We know that the mindset of looking for the bright side, even in a really dark kind of time, is what keeps people going.
Can be hard to do that at times, but good pointers there. Dr. Ziegler also says it goes a long way to be kind to staff in these situations and to not heighten the tension even more. Speaking of snow, the city of Buffalo has been seeing a ton of it lately. The airport and major roads are now open, and according to local officials, power was restored to the majority of households last night. However, the recovery remains long. NBC's Jesse Kirsch has more.
Here in Buffalo, for the first time in almost 6 full days since the blizzard began, people are now allowed to drive on city streets. The travel ban lifted overnight, but you can see behind me, road conditions are still far from perfect. And that has been leading to questions as to why cleanup is taking so long. That has led to finger pointing as the death toll here climbs. Unfortunately, we are approaching 40 people confirmed dead. At this point, the number just below that. And we continue to expect that the number may rise because there is a warm-up on the way. That will lead to snow melting because there's also going to be rain. And the police here believe that more bodies will be found once the snow starts to melt. That is the grim reality on the ground here. But we also continue to hear inspiring stories. And going back to the rain and the warmer temperatures and the snow melt, there was this concern that there could potentially be some flooding. The National Weather Service says that if there is flooding here, it will be minimal. That is relieving news. Jesse Kirsch, NBC News, Buffalo, New York.
Coming up tomorrow marks 1 year since the Marshall Fire. The investigation is still ongoing, but we're slowly getting a better idea of the cause. Also ahead, a local food pantry is going into the new year with some problems. We'll take a dive into what experiences they're facing.